Last night, Jaylen Brown won MVP, getting 7 votes to Jason Tatum's 4 votes. So, Paul, was this the right choice?
Yeah, I think this is the right call, Skip. I said this was Jaylen Brown's MVP to lose, and he did everything necessary that I want to see on both ends of the court. Now, Jason Tatum, he played well. I mean, numbers should suggest it could have went either way when you just look at the numbers. But overall, I just think that Jaylen's impact, the way he guarded Luka, made him work, and it started from game one. You saw the defensive impact that he was having. And you can say the same for Jason Tatum, too. But I just think, you know, all that Jaylen's been through, missing all NBA, not getting the recognition he needs, I think this is bittersweet for him right now. You know, I mean, what a year for Jaylen Brown. I'm so happy for him. And this was rightfully so. I mean, Luka shoots 3 for 24 in the last 3 games from 3. I think, you know, Jaylen had a lot to do that. He was in his head. I think he's been underrated on the defensive end. I mean, this guy did not make no all-defensive teams. He didn't make no all-NBA teams. And so I really think he went into this championship series or just the playoffs in general with a chip on his shoulder. I mean, it could have been a boulder because you could hear it in his interviews, just how he talked, like, you know, if you're not rocking with me, then, you know, stay over there. So in my moment, this is the best. By him winning, this is the best kiss my ass moment that he can have.
Yep.
Seriously.
True.
Like, seriously. He's saying this to everybody who didn't vote for him in all defensive, all NBA. Well, look now. Look at him now. So this was rightfully so, and I'm happy for him.
And the crazy thing about it is this basically is the same way he played all year long. So for not to be added on to any of those teams is kind of like bizarre. It's kind of crazy. Look, he got 7 of the 11 votes. Tatum got 4 of the 11 votes. Okay, it's, you know, that's close from a voting standpoint.
Mm-hmm.
When you look at the numbers in the finals, the numbers basically are the same, man. They really are. I mean, you know, yeah, he out rebounding by slightly, edge by 2, assists slightly by 3. But overall, I think Jaylen Brown had more of a splash moments early. It was splash moments early. So those splash moments early stayed in the minds of the voters, and he never really tailed off to the point of disappointment, except the bad game that all of them had as a team in Game 4.
Yeah.
Although I looked up and Drew Holiday was 3 or 4 in the first quarter. I'm like, wait a minute. I know Drew Holiday getting ready to try to steal this. and so, you know, that's really the only little jolt in my mind when I saw Drew 6, 3 or 4. I'm like, he ain't getting ready to go on this run. I know. Tatum had a really good game. But even some of his stuff in the end it was almost like Jaylen, because of the defensive side and the splash play, stayed in my mind. His dunks were powerful, whether they were lobs or whatever, or he created them on his own. Those moments stayed there. Plus, I think there was a little bit of, we got it wrong there too. So we're going to give him a little bit of benefit of the doubt because we already got it wrong in the regular season by not adding him on to any other postseason accolades. So, okay, but here's what I would say about Jason Tatum. Jason Tatum doesn't have to worry about an MVP because eventually he's going to get one.
Regular or finals?
Both.
Yeah.
I believe he'll get both. I believe he'll eventually get both because he's too good of a player. Like, he's really good, man. Dude is really good. When he puts his mind to it, I'm like, okay, he goes to the cup a couple times last night, as you saw, Paul. He was strong to the back. Like, he just did things differently than he did earlier in the series, Skip. So Jaylen deserved it, rightfully so. But Tatum will get an MVP again, because the Celtics, with this team, they should win another championship with this.
I would say.
With those two guys. Multiple, but I'd just say another one, and he'll get his final MVP. So there's nothing to be, like, mad about or anything like that.
I think
celebrate, have fun.
They're happy for each other, without a doubt.
Absolutely.
Okay. So if I just look at the raw numbers, if I didn't know, if I hadn't watched 1 second of one game, if I just look at their
analytics guy.
Yeah, I'm not an analytics guy. I'm just looking at the raw numbers. I can make a case that Jason should have won the award because he goes 22-8-7 versus 21-5-5. That's significantly better to me.
That's not. I said, Skip, that's basically the same number.
Jason shoots 26% from three, which is pretty horrible, but Jaylen shot 24% from three, which is even worse. Okay? All right? Okay, I got it. Yet, what have I said sitting in this chair for 3 years? Every time I'm rooting against Boston, the guy who scares me by far the most is Jaylen Brown. He just does. He's way more athletic. He's more explosive. He's got that look in his eye that I don't always see Jason have until the fourth quarter last night when I still believe Jason was making a run at MVP. And I'm going to show you the shots that he took because he doesn't. This is a blowout game. This is a 20, 25-point game. And he is out of his mind just driving it and shooting it at will. I'm going to shoot it, I'm going to shoot it, and I'm going to score it.
I love the way he played.
Man,
what? You know why? Because he didn't settle for the three as much.
And not only that,
he got a lucky basket on that one.
Even though the game was somewhat...
I'm just going to jack it up.
Even though the game was somewhat out of reach...
It's way out of reach.
I like the fact that he says, it's out of reach, I'm on the floor, I'm getting ready to put them out of their misery.
Okay. Yeah. Here I go. Here I go. Here I go.
Yes.
They couldn't stop him driving to the bucket.
Yeah.
He could have 40 because he missed about like 4 or 5 layups.
Step back threes. This is Jason Tatum in the fourth quarter of a blowout.
Well, it ain't really.
That's all right.
It's a blowout.
That's all right.
I'm taking advantage of it. I'm taking advantage of it.
Okay, but
But you don't think you think he was trying? You think he was trying to steal the MVP?
Absolutely.
You think you just said
he's going to leave it in the voters' minds? Look what I just did in the fourth quarter.
He went ham in a blowout to try to convince the voters that he deserved the MVP.
That's exactly what he went.
And you don't think the voters are smart enough to realize?
The problem is the votes are being taken mid-fourth quarter. That's because it's a blowout, and they're just making sure they get the votes
So
in.
you don't think he's smart enough and the voters are smart enough that he would go and do something like that thinking that he would? No, Skip.
What's the last impression you leave in people's minds? Okay, so I'm looking at Jaylen Brown's last 2 games of the finals, Game 4 and Game 5. And in Game 4, nobody, as you said, played very well, but he was 3 out of 12. But in Game 5, he was 7 of 23 and 2 of 9 from 3. In Game 4, he was 1 of 5 from 3. So he finishes out the finals going 3 for 14 from 3. I mean, it's almost like Luka bad from 3 for Jaylen Brown, and yet he won the MVP.
But when I look at Luka's numbers,
okay, but this isn't about Luka.
Well,
I mean,
it is about Luka because I'm talking about
they got gentlemen swept. So.
Yeah, it is about Luka in a way because Jaylen Brown guarded him.
Yeah.
So when I look and say Luka shot 3 for 24 from 3.
No, I've given you that.
Jaylen Brown has a lot to do with that. Like, that's the impression that was left with me. I'm seeing him picking him up full court.
So Jaylen Brown affected the game in other ways that Luka could not affect the game.
Absolutely. And then Luka, 7 turnovers.
Yeah.
I think
that was last night.
Yeah, but Brown has something to do with that.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? With the ball pressure. So you got to factor in all those things right there. And if I'm not mistaken, Luka Luka, he's such a talent. He'll look, if you didn't watch the game.
Y'all keep saying he's such a
talent.
talent.
Look, he had 28 and 12. If you didn't look at the game, you're like, well, Luka killed. You know, he had a great game. But when you watch it and you look at the eye test, if you're watching Brown on him, pick him up full court, body through screens, being physical with him. He didn't play well to me last night. He looked tired. Luka,
no,
he didn't play well to me last night.
You can't look at the box scores in sports.
Well, I don't look at the box scores. I gotta watch.
Definitely don't look at the box scores.
I gotta watch. I gotta see with the eye test.
I gotta see the game
because he struggled mightily to me. I mean, maybe he got some layups late. And he got a couple of and ones late. But like it was about time he started getting his numbers.
It was
out of reach.
It was out of reach.
He got 2 late threes, and he wanted that third one because he knew he watches this show, and he knew you had a bet against me, and he was going to nail that last one.
You had a bet against me.
One last
crazy.
3. I'm going to make this one.
That's crazy, Skip.
Hey, I was in the fourth quarter. I looked up. Luka had no made threes. I was like, oh, yeah. I was over there like.
Yeah.
But I don't. Go back to what you were saying, Skip. I don't think that Tatum went into the fourth quarter at that moment saying...
I didn't see him play like that the whole finals until that fourth quarter of a blowout.
No, he was playing aggressive all game long.
But not like that.
He was the only dude on the floor, basically.
No, he wasn't. No.
Yeah, at that point he was.
You know when Jaylen won the MVP to me? Did you hear him on the sideline when he was mic'd up? He said, if Lucas stays in, I stay in. I stay in. Okay, that's when I said he deserves the MVP, because that was his mindset from minute one of these finals.
Yep.
And to me, he won the MVP with the shot of the finals, because the biggest shot your team needed to have made